morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Brunch Boxing. I'm your host, Matt. I'm here with the voice of Brunch Boxing, the John Madden of boxing, the master of the walk and talk, the master of the sit and spit, Andrew Tate. He's coming for you, sucker. EzRaw Boxing. What's going on, Ezra?
What's up, man? I'm excited today. I'm excited. I feel something in the air today with this show.
And obviously, the master marionette, the man behind the boards, Mr. DJ DJ UEP himself. What's going on,
What
UEP?
happened right there?
You get a phone call, Matt?
That was my record scratching.
Oh, all right.
It did not come out well. That's why I started laughing. Like, that was the worst record scratch I've ever heard.
Why you burp?
I like the unique intro. You're switching it up. It's good. It's good.
Hey, listen, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Some huge news. So we're gonna get right into it. Huey, start us off.
All right. So I think the biggest news we heard this week here is coming from the Tank and Jake Paul fight, reportedly in jeopardy after a civil suit was filed against Tank Davis. Matt, what do you guys know about this? We'll start with you and then go to Ezra.
Well, obviously, listen, you guys know how I feel about domestic violence and domestic situations, but this is a civil suit. So why is this fight in jeopardy is my question. And I hate to be the one to defend things, but I don't think a fight should be in jeopardy over a civil suit, but the fight is indeed in jeopardy. It's a fluid situation. They have been talking to multiple other fighters. We saw Chris Mannix report that they were talking to Ryan Garcia. I'll tell you what I personally heard. If you want to hit my music bright and early, right off top. I heard that for a replacement opponent, they're talking to WBA welterweight champion Rolando Rolly Romero. As a replacement.
You know what?
I swear to God.
You know what? It's funny because yesterday, right, I'm walking with my family. We're doing the trick-or-treat thing. And I get the news. I read that news, right, to my brother. And we're like, Ryan Garcia. And we're like, I guess, like, if you're going to replace that, Ryan Garcia's the guy. And we kept trying to think of another guy because they said they're talking to other people, too. We said Teal or, like, maybe Teal, right? But Rolly never came across. And you know what? As soon as you said that, that makes great sense. I got to be honest with you. Rolly Romero makes perfect sense for the spot. I don't know if he's big enough name, but late replacement, I don't think you could get that picky. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he's big enough name, but you can't get that picky in this spot. I really think, in my personal opinion, that if you're going to get rid of Tank on this card, I think the card has to go unless you could get Ryan. I don't think you could go through with this. Now, this is a circus, but I will say this. The one that's coming out looking most like a clown is Tank. I got to be honest with you. This is a circus, but I think that from everything I've seen from Tank, this kind of shows you can't base a business on this guy. You can't base money off this guy. You can't do events based on this guy consistently because you don't know what the hell you're going to get with this guy. This is terrible things accused. I'm with you on that. We got to see how that plays out. But it's just nonsense follows this guy. And you got to kind of go with all these guys that I've said this before. There's some guys that just nonsense follows, and you cannot base things on him. You can't do events on him. And this is exactly where I think that hurt PBC was basing things on Tank. I think that was a hurt. I think we talked about that here before, but this is another example of this. Now, does this fight get canceled? We'll see. But they're looking for replacements. They don't feel confident about it. Now, I know you said, you probably shouldn't cancel it over, accusation or a civil lawsuit, whatever.
No. I didn't say over an accusation. That's not what I said.
Okay. What did you say?
If let me clarify for those who like to clip and not give context. If it was criminal charges, I could understand the fight being canceled or being in jeopardy. But civil charges for something that, if you've read the civil suit, which I did read, the latest incident happened on Monday. So if the latest incident happened on Monday, obviously in view of a lot of people, if you read the incident, because according to the complainant, the incident happened in a public place. then why would a civil suit be filed instead of criminal charges first?
Okay, I'm with you. But to me, the reason why you would cancel this, right, is because it's just the image of it. That's the whole point, right? That's the whole thing with the image of it is the problem. Like, here's the thing: when people say like, oh, the cancel culture and everything. Cancel cultures always exist. We just put a name to it. If you
Yeah,
are a bad image and you hurt the bottom line or it hurts the company's image, they're going to get rid of you. That's been around since I've been alive. Okay, they've gotten rid of plenty of people on plenty of things just because their image hurt the product. That's it.
yeah,
Now,
absolutely, absolutely.
exactly. So with Tank, this is just another thing where you have previous things, and it doesn't help. Also, doesn't help that even in the post-fight buildup, Jake Paul said this guy's a woman beater. He's a woman beater.
Hey, it's kind of ironic because remember when we were talking about this before, like
Mm-hmm.
he had brought up the woman beater thing, and now the fight is in jeopardy because of it. So you knew what you were getting into.
They didn't know what they were getting into, right? They didn't know what they were getting into. But when it happens again, and you have the previous, all those examples, yeah, okay,
Allegedly.
if that allegedly happens again, and you have all those previous examples, all that together doesn't look good. And I would understand Netflix being a big business saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't want to be in business of this. Maybe we don't want this image of thing because is this risk really worth the reward? I can understand them saying no. Another thing is that where this hurts boxing is this if this fight gets canceled, if they have to switch it up, this shows how hard it is to throw events in boxing consistently and hard it is to base it on the fighters and the thing because when you have leagues, the games are going to happen no matter who's there. The games are going to happen in boxing. That's not always the case. That's not always the case. We learned that so many times, and I think that these businesses that want to throw money in there, they start to second guess it once you get in really how you realize how crazy and hectic boxing is and how much of a circus it could be and how much things could just flip on a dime. People say, you know what, is it worth all this headaches for this? Are the returns enough for this? For Netflix, it has been so far, and it's been smooth
Yeah,
sailing so far. But it could very easily be, people say, I just don't want to deal with this. I mean, that's honestly, I think that's what ESPN dealt with. I think I just don't want to deal with this right now. I don't want to deal with this anymore. It's not worth it.
let me ask you a question. Ultimately, do you believe that we get Jake Paul versus Javante Davis on November 14th? Do we get it at a later date? Do we not get it at all?
If it doesn't happen that day, you won't get it at all. I think that if they're honestly looking for replacements, then there's a good chance this fight's not going to happen. Okay, I don't think there's a replacement that may really make sense to keep this event going, unless it's Ryan Garcia, or unless you call Canelo Alvarez and he said, "Hey, you want a quick payday turnaround?" And then you get Canelo Alvarez in there, but it's not going to happen, right? Too short.
Come on,
Yeah, I know,
come
but that's
on.
what I'm saying. But that's what it would take to make this the event that it is, right? You can't just throw Jake on Netflix versus anybody. You can't just throw, we're gonna put Anderson Silva in there. I'm sorry, no, it's like no one's Netflix. What's the point of that for Netflix? I think they might as well just scrap it if they don't have Tank. And I think there's a good chance maybe it does get scrapped.
I gotta be honest with you. I hope the card goes through. I hope the card goes through. And the thing is, this might sound selfish. I don't want Gary Antoine Russell versus Andy Hirioka to have to move to another date. I want that fight to happen in 2
I'm with
weeks.
you. I'm with you. That was the
I
fight
want
supposed to
that
be.
fight to happen in 2 weeks.
But
You
like I
know,
said, when it comes to Tank, I just tell you right now, if I have my career dependent on Tank fighting, goodness gracious, I'm frustrated. I got to be honest with you. It's not a great spot to be in. I got to be honest with you. That's a horrible spot to be in. That's pretty lot of examples of that being a bad spot to be in.
yeah, but listen, I said before that maybe the crown is too heavy for the head. You know, I've been saying that for a few months now, and I think we're just seeing that maybe retirement is not such a bad idea,
Yeah,
or at least a very long break.
he's just not a guy that makes good decisions. Whether he's guilty of what they accuse him of, he puts himself in situations to where these
Well,
things. That's
see,
what
see,
I'm saying. Whether he's
but
guilty,
see, no, 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 but hold on. But see, but that's where I struggle with that because say like I'm a person who used to put myself in bad situations, or I used to I used to rob banks, right?
Okay.
If I get accused of a bank robbery I had nothing to do with, is that me putting myself in a bad situation, or is that people using my reputation against me?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? If you guys, you're a guy that used to rob banks. I love how we're just going to deep dive on that one example. So you're a guy that used to rob banks, and you're like, I don't rob banks anymore. But you hang out with people that rob banks. You're like, I'm still going to kick it with the guys that used to rob banks. I'm still going to be around the people that used to rob banks.
So
I don't rob banks.
so what you saying is Tank should no longer be around women.
I think there's
I
just
mean, I mean,
I think he needs to change some things. I think he needs to change some things. You know what I mean? I'm not well, take that for what you will. I think there's some things that need to change because there what I think what he needs to realize is he is a giant corporation. He's a giant business. He makes a lot of money. If he has to, everything has to be business has to be straight for him for it,
mhm.
these things to go through. And I think that he gets indulged a lot of nonsense, and he puts himself in situations, whether he does what they're accusing or not, they lead to these type of things. I do think that, and I think that's, for example, for a lot of people that I know in life and stuff like that. The people that get in situations like this, whether they're guilty of it or not, but are constantly in the mix of stuff like that, is because they put themselves in the mix of stuff like that. They're around things like that. I don't hang out with people that do nonsense because I don't want to be involved in nonsense. That's as simple as that. It can't just be, oh, it's just, they're all looking, singling me out. Hey, there's 1,000 other fighters and they're not going through what you're going through, right? Not all, there's a lot of fighters that I don't hear anything about. There's a lot of fighters I don't hear anything about. So what are they doing that you're not doing? What's the difference? This is. It's okay. Like you said,
Hey,
heavy is,
listen,
heavy is the head that wears the crown. You're right.
listen. Here's the thing. We say there's a lot of fighters that we don't hear anything about. Not all fighters are as famous as Tank.
That's
You
fine,
know,
but
we had a fighter that was convicted of domestic violence multiple times on multiple wives that he had. And that report didn't come out until Brunch Boxing reported it.
you're right.
And
You're
this
right.
was over the course of a decade. So just because we don't hear about it doesn't mean that it's not
No,
happening.
that's
People
okay.
have to no, because it's very important that people understand that as much as we hear about domestic violence, that is like a small portion of the amount of domestic violence that's actually happening because it goes grossly underreported. So don't think just because you don't hear about people doesn't mean that it's not happening out there.
No, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. I'm just saying that I think that it's not just bad luck or anything like that. I think you put yourself in those situations, or you put yourself in an environment that I think that where stuff like this can happen. I think then you got to blame yourself. I think he should take all the blame for it, whether he's guilty of this or not. And you got to be more careful at that spot. Like you said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. It's not easy being the top guy. It's not easy being the top guy. It's not easy being famous. It's not easy having all these things where you. It's not easy with all the responsibilities you have, everything based on you. But there's fighters that have done it that could handle it. There's some that can't, and that's the truth of it. I don't think Tank can handle it. I think that from what evidence I see, he cannot handle it. Now, question I have for you: you see guys that in boxing where they live crazy lives. They think, and what the promoters sometimes will do, like you say, Fernando Vargas, is they got to rush them along, right? Get big events out of them because you don't know what you have.
Yeah.
Did did they do that quick enough with Tank? Could it have been bigger events with Tank, or did they think that they had a long term play with him? And now what we're seeing is, it kind of
Of course they thought they had a long-term play with him. Just look at the length of the deal that they signed him to.
Mhm.
So of course they thought that they had a long-term play with him. I just think, and this is not for me to pass judgment on the civil suit, because like I said, this is a civil suit, this is not criminal charges. I think criminal charges is a little bit different, which is why we report on criminal charges, not on civil suits. I don't think people know that. I don't think people notice that because they just see, oh, are you gonna report about this, bro? We report on the criminal charges, not the civil suits. But I think maybe he's unraveling, or maybe he's unraveled.
I think so.
Maybe he shouldn't be fighting. I see a comment from one of the listeners, Stringer Basquiat, your guy. He's not listen, Stringer Basquiat is not a very bright guy. And this is a stupid question. And it's oh man. So his question is Tank retiring gonna stop him from being an abuser? I don't think like boxing fans are just dumb. I don't know. This is why it's hard to discuss like serious topics amongst boxing fans because boxing fans by and large are dumb. Like I see this guy Brick Squad saying that I'm caping for Tank. I'm not caping for Tank at all. I don't
I
think
don't
you
know that
understand what
I don't think
caping
he's
for
talking to
someone
you. I think he's
means,
talking to one of the people in the comments.
huh?
I think he's talking to someone else in the comments. I
No,
don't think
no,
he's
no,
talking
no,
to you.
no, no. He says that I'm
Uh,
caping for Tank a bit,
oh wait,
but I don't think people understand what caping for someone means. So when people have a nuanced discussion and when they're talking about the situation in its entirety, it doesn't mean they're caping for it. It means that they are just discussing the situation. So for a string of basket, when you say, well, is him retiring going to stop him from being an abuser? What 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 we don't know and we don't understand is we don't understand the psyche. Because I don't know about you, Ezra, but I've never been a domestic abuser. And I'm assuming you've never been a domestic abuser. I
No.
don't know the psyche, but what I do know is that sometimes sitting someone down, sitting someone down and getting them actual help could help a situation. So does technically retiring from boxing gonna stop him from being an abuser? No, but maybe retiring him from boxing, you sit him down and you get him help and counseling and whatever services that he needs to break the cycle. You know, so I don't think people understand that when they try to ask the stupid gotcha questions. Which is why we try to stay away from discussing that stuff on here. You know, but like I said, uh, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
like I agree. There's two different conversations you're having. There's a real, way more serious one, and then there's the one within the business of boxing. I kind of just talking about the business of boxing, and I think that you can't base a business off of him. You can't base anything off of this guy. I think that if you can get him in big fights going forward, um, but I do think that maybe the PBC could have got bigger things out of him if he would have rushed it along a little bit more. I think that
yeah,
they thought that they had something longer term than they did. I think you had bigger fights there. There were bigger events there, and maybe you could have based another star. If you get him in a tough fight, maybe he loses and you get in a thing because it did work. I'm gonna be honest with you. They did get some main eventers out of just close fights with Tank or just
yes,
competitive fights with Tank.
yes. I mean, we're talking about Pitbull versus Rocha. We're
That's what I'm
excited about
saying.
that.
That's what I'm saying.
You
So
know,
there was a business of guys getting the rub from Tank. So imagine you had a guy that actually beat Tank clearly, right? Where would he be at? And I'm just saying, a guy like Shakur Stevenson. I'm just saying like
so
that, like
so so maybe
or
what it
Devin
is
Haney.
is maybe what it is maybe Tank is not bad for business, but building your business around Tank is bad for
Oh
business.
yes, definitely. We know
You
he's not
know,
he's not
it
bad for business because he's made a lot of money.
yeah, but I'm curious to see how this plays out. I'm curious to see if any criminal charges file. You know, I have been told to like be on the lookout through the weekend because there may be some developments on the criminal side of things. There may be footage out there.
Oh,
Oh,
Well, footage could mean two
footage should
different
mean a lot of
things.
things, but
Yeah, it could either be confirmation or exoneration.
yeah, man,
But
I was about to post Sibby's joke. I don't even feel like it's appropriate after that.
yeah, so but we'll see. We'll see. You know, the funny thing is, maybe this is why a lot of people think that he might really lose to Jake if they fight.
oh
Because you
no.
remember I told you that. Remember, Ezra.
Don't
Ezra.
excuse those people. Do not excuse those people. Okay, the people that thought that. Let me tell you something. They have no sense. Okay, they have no sense. I don't know if we noticed. Like, here's the thing. That's like, dude, I don't know if you noticed. Jake Paul is getting beaten down in sparring by Shakur Stevenson and Raymond Ford. Okay, like
How
this
you
is,
know? How you know?
bro. You don't hear the stuff he's saying. You don't hear it. It's very obvious the stuff he's saying that he's taking a beating in there. Okay, those guys. Let me tell you something. If they're struggling at sparring, they're not going back and sparring him. They're famous guys. They don't need that. This is easy work and an easy payday for them, and it's a little bit extra attention. That's it. They're going back. If they go and lose the first time, they're like, all right, I gotta dip out. My bad, Jake. I'm gonna dip out. I don't need this. I'm a star my own self. I star my own fight. I don't really need this. They're doing it because they're beating the hell out of them. It's easy work.
Let me ask you a question, because I did see some online discourse about Shakur Stevenson, Raymond Ford, Keyshawn Davis, all these guys going into spar Jake. A lot of people think that it's a bad look that they go into spar Jake. What's your thoughts on that? Like, do we care? I mean, we saw people got mad because of Boots and Canelo.
Yeah. Okay, so the Boots and Canelo one was stupid. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now, maybe it's a cultural thing that it's not my culture, so I don't know. Maybe it's something that I don't understand. But I think it's stupid. I thought it was a stupid argument. I thought it was a stupid point. Everything. Boots is not friends with Crawford. He don't need to do anything to help Crawford. He don't care about Crawford. He actually doesn't like Crawford, in my opinion. I don't think he likes him. So what the hell is he? Oh, no, I can't do that to Crawford. What the hell? He don't give a damn about Crawford. I don't understand that. So stupid. Now, this whole thing with, look, there's two ways to look at it with the Shakur thing. Is Shakur too big of a name to be a sparring partner to Jake Paul? That's one way to look at it, right? Okay, maybe there's an argument to have there. But, or to say, oh, well, how could he do that for Jake Paul against Tank? That's stupid. He don't give a damn about Tank. He doesn't care. If he gets humiliated by Jake Paul, he doesn't give a damn. Another thing is, another argument would have would be like, oh, well, why would he go for the guy that's going to hurt boxing if Jake Paul hurts Tank? None of these guys gave a damn about the business of boxing. Okay, how many of these guys called in for the California State Athletic Commission and the TKO? Not one. Not one. Okay?
Not one.
They don't give
I
a damn
called
about
in.
That's what I'm saying. No, they don't give a damn about this. All they care about is themselves. Okay, and that's fine. You kind of need to be that to be a boxer. I'd be 100% with you. This is a selfish sport. It is. It's a selfish sport. You don't do anything for anyone else. Okay, you don't do anything for anyone else, and we ask you not to do anything for anyone else. That's why we get mad when Shakur and Keyshawn say they're friends, because we don't want them to be friends. We want them to be selfish. We want them to fight each other and want the thing. This is a selfish sport, and I'm telling you right now, if you put the boxers and they have to think about the business of it, and they have to think about for everyone else, it ain't gonna work. Okay, sorry, it's not gonna work. Okay, they're gonna be selfish. That's why you do kind of need someone that navigates it correctly. But right now, there's all these arguments. Why does he do that to Tank? They don't care about Tank. They're not friends with him. That's why he did it to him. He doesn't like him.
Well, my thing is this though, right? At least for me, I don't give a shit. Who cares who Jake Paul is sparring? Who cares if Shakur and Keyshawn? Who cares if they're all helping Jake Paul out? Who cares? I don't get why it's a big deal who spars who. I don't get it. Someone's gonna have to help me understand. I didn't understand it with Boots. I don't understand it with this situation with Shakur and Keyshawn and Raymond Ford. Who gives a shit?
And in this situation, this doesn't really work, right? But in the Boots situation, you don't think it's good sparring to get Canelo to spar in the ring with you? Like, you don't think that's a good situation for him?
Of course.
So no one sees a benefit for him on that situation? I'll tell you this, like, in most things, right? In most situations, when you're not big names or whatever, right? You go to a gym and you need to get sparring, you spar whoever the hell's there available to you. You don't be like, oh, who's he fighting? I got to make sure that this isn't a friend of mine, or they got to make sure that this isn't long-term going to affect it. No one does that. Okay, you just show up. The guy says, hey, that guy's your weight. You guys look around the same level. Go in there and fight each other. That's really
now, I will say this, though. I think one funny or ironic aspect of the Shakur sparring thing is that he was on record kind of calling this fight a joke. It's a circus. It's not real, blah, 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 blah. But then you run to take that check.
Yeah, because you know why? Because he's like, I'm gonna get some attention off the circus, and I'm gonna show you.
Shut the fuck up about it.
I'm gonna make Jake Paul my sparring partner. I'm gonna steal him before you ever do, right? And everything, and I'm gonna laugh about it. Yes, I don't.
Yeah, but my thing is this, right? He can have it both ways. So listen, so don't complain about the circus if you're gonna join the circus when you get the chance to join the circus. You know.
I don't think he really joined the circus.
I don't like that. I think it's hypocritical. Yo, no, he
I don't
joined the
think so.
circus.
I don't think so. No, because
He joined the circus.
He's not having a fight with Jake Paul.
But
he wants to spar him. That's fine.
Yeah, the way that I look at this is he is skilled in his profession, and he's taking a very easy job to make some quick money.
And he got some attention out of it. Like, you understand, Jake Paul does bring you attention. If Jake Paul takes a picture with you, you are going to have more attention on you. People are going to be more aware of you. So I don't blame him. I don't blame him for that. But he's not. He's fighting legit.
No. Here's the thing. I don't blame him for doing it. But then shut the fuck up. Don't shit on the event.
Oh no, he's right. He's right. He was right both ways. He was right.
No. Come on, Ezra. Come on.
He's right. He's right, bro. Benavidez was spar Jake Paul, but Benavidez wouldn't fight Jake Paul. But he was spar.
Well, Benavidez would fight Jake Paul.
Okay. Then he would. Okay, let's say he would.
Jake Paul wouldn't fight Benavidez.
That's fine. But I think Benavidez right now in his career, I think he takes boxing pretty seriously. He fights legit fights. He fights legit guys. He fights to make himself a Hall of Fame career, one of the greats, right? But he was spar Jake Paul. And no one would be like, why are you sparring that guy if you take a career serious? It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. So it's like, I don't, no problem with what Shakur did. No problem with that at all.
Okay.
Any other thoughts on this topic before we move on?
Not really. I just hoping for a resolution. I just hope that whatever happens, we get Gary Antoine Russell versus Andy Hirayoko on November 14th.
I want to, the one thing with Netflix is boxing's been good to it. It has. Boxing has held up its end in a major way for Netflix.
It would be fucked up if Tank is the one that
messes it up. Because I feel like Tank's messed it up for someone else too. I feel like Tank messed it up for the PBC. So if he's doing more damage than anyone that people say, oh, who does damage? If he messes this up, then Netflix did, because boxing and Netflix has been a very, very good combination. Now, I don't love everything Netflix approaches with boxing as far as fights and what they try to make, but it's been a good deal. It's been a good deal. It's been a good deal for the fighters, and it's been really good for Netflix. It's been successful for them. If this gets screwed up because of Tank, I mean, goodness gracious. I mean,
unforgivable.
It's unforgivable. It is unforgivable.
Unforgivable. But like I said, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
That's true.
Not everyone's meant to wear the crown. Listen, a lot of people, they say they want this, they say they want that. Then when they're in the position,
And give credit to a guy that while he's a part of the circus, but he has to be a part of the circus. That's why it works. Jake Paul shows up. Jake Paul makes a fight, he's going to be there. Jake Paul says, I'm going to do this, it happens. Jake Paul says this, like I'm telling you right now, I think Jake Paul's taking a beating in sparring. I think he knows, this ain't going to go good for me.
But you know what's funny about Jake Paul? Jake Paul hasn't even pulled out of a fight due to injury.
Never.
And nobody goes into a fight 100%.
Bro, never. And that's what I'm saying. And one thing he does too is he takes some gambles. He was willing to fight Canelo. We all know how that was going to end. But he said,
Jake Paul knockout.
Okay. But I'm telling you right now, Jake Paul is taking a beating in sparring. I promise you that. He is taking a beating in sparring. He's getting schooled.
So we do have a question from the listeners. Mike from Brunch Boxing wants to know, could Ezra beat Jake Paul?
I had that one start.
I'm going to give you a good answer on this. And I'm going to give you a real answer. And this is from the heart. I've been training. You've seen the videos, right? I've been working out, hitting the bag. I could not beat Jake Paul today. I got to be honest with you. Now, when I boxed, when I was in my best,
you a bitch ass.
I think I would have schooled Jake Paul, but me personally, right? I think I think I could have beat him. I think if I got in shape now, right, and I had time to get in shape and really take it seriously, I think I could beat him. But I think off the couch right now, Jake Paul shows up. I think I'm gonna take that out. I gotta be honest with you, and that's just the truth of it. That's the truth of it. I gotta just face reality sometimes.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, let me say one thing though, just so the thing. A lot of people are afraid of the truth. I gotta be honest with you. That's not me. Okay, I don't know what it is, but that's not me.
Wait, who's afraid of Errol Spence?
But what people do, right, and even professional boxers, I'm going to even criticize professional boxers here. They don't want to find out what it really is. They don't. They know. They go to sleep at night. They have questions. They need answers, but they don't want to find out those answers. Me, I find out those answers. I went and boxed and I lost. I found out that I was like, hey, you're not any high level at this, but I could go to sleep with that. That's fine. I'm comfortable with that. It's very good. I am okay finding out what the level I am. I think that the problem in people's life is you always are doing something. You're talking a big game, but you never really want to find out if you are that big game. That's a problem with people in their life. You need to go find out what you are.
But you see, this is what I don't like about you. You got guys like you who take a loss and you quit. You quit right away.
Because
you're not really finding out. No, that's not facing the truth. You're not really finding out what you're really made of. You should take after Jake Pollard. Do you know who Jake Pollard is?
Jake Pollard. No, who's Jake Pollard?
Jake Pollard is a boxer who was 0 and 100, and he just got his first win.
So I
remember this guy.
No. I got
his first win.
I got two things. I got two things to say about this Jake Pollard situation, right? I got two things to say about it. First of all, let me tell you the heart, right, of a person who knows they're going to go in there to lose and only does it for the love of it. I got to tell you, that's more heart than some of the guys that are undefeated. I got to be honest with you. I respect the hell out of a guy like that who goes in there and knows that I'm probably going to take this loss, but I'm going to keep showing up. That is life. To me, most people are successful in life go and show up every day, no matter how it's going to go. They show up and something breaks for them. That's good, right? Now, we wouldn't be talking about Jake Pollard, you're correct, if he stopped at like 0-5. You never bring him up. Okay, we never bring him up. But because he kept going and kept losing and finally got the W, me and you were talking about him. That's great. That's a good thing for life. That's a good thing, for example, for life. For me, I didn't want to be Jake Paul. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't want to be him. Okay, that's not what I want to be remembered for. I think that at boxing, I could have been better as a pro if I would have allowed time to adjust and get used to it. Right, like as far as like the way that was and everything. But it doesn't matter. I was in a high level, and I knew it wasn't going to be the level that I wanted to be. And when I faced that truth that I wasn't going to be this, I said, it's done. I'm going to go a different direction now in life. So I could have done that and had some wins and losses. Maybe I think I would have, 500 win some, lose some fighter. Maybe I could have broken into that. But that's not what I wanted to be. I faced the truth of who I was and what I wanted to be and what I thought I could be. And I said I wasn't that. And that's it. And I have no shame in it. But I can sleep at night. I can sleep at night knowing exactly who I am. You got to know who you are. Find out who you are in this world. You don't want to die not knowing who you are.
All right, we can move on.
All right. Next up, we have.
I don't see him though.
Yeah, he joined for a second. I'm sure he'll be back. We have Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao reportedly negotiating a rematch of their 2015 bout. What do we have as the latest on this piece of news?
Oh man! I gotta tell you, I feel some type of way about this.
Wait, Matt, hold on. Before we move on, I do want to introduce the host of the Sunday Morning Sermon. TY, how you doing today? Oh, hold on. The sometimes host of the RNS podcast too, whenever they have an episode.
Here we go.
What's up, fellas? What up, fellas?
There we go.
Did you have a thought on Jake and Tank before we move on?
No, I don't care about that.
Did you have a thought on EzRaw versus Jake before we move on?
No, I don't want to see EzRaw get knocked out.
Okay, he does.
I would have.
Let us know what we know about Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao happening in 2026.
Well, they are really negotiating. It is a real thing, but I kind of feel some type of way about it because if you think about it, Manny Pacquiao was supposed to be headlining the PBC event in January, and if he takes that fight with Floyd, that's no longer him headlining the PBC event in January. So essentially, Floyd Mayweather would be sniping an event from PBC, a big event from PBC too, because that was supposed to be Pacquiao, Rolly, Fundora, Thurman doubleheader. That's a big event. So I'm kind of curious as to what's your thoughts about that, EzRaw.
I think it's a blessing in disguise. I got to be honest with you, but look at Pacquiao Floyd. I don't give a damn about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a damn about
shut the fuck up.
I don't give a damn about it.
Shut
but
I
do want to say this. As right? Because when people have this Floyd Mike Tyson poster, right? And I'm not, and they posted it, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And then they said some businessman was involved. So like, "Oh, it's happening. That guy's involved. It's happening." And I saw it, and I said, "Wait a minute, wait. Floyd and Mike Tyson's announced, and it doesn't have a TV deal. Floyd and Mike Tyson's announced, and they didn't announce it with a TV deal and a date." I said, "BS. I'm sorry. This fight's not happening." And everyone said, "Oh, it's happening. I don't know why you think there's a lot of money remaining." Well, then guess what? It's not happening. Okay, it's not happening. Now, this Floyd Manning thing, I'm sure negotiations, talks are being had. The problem I have with it is, what is it, a pro fight? Because I don't think Floyd's going to risk.
Yes, it's a pro fight.
That's the part where I have a hard time believing. I'm like, let me get the BS meter going. The BS meter's going. The BS meter's going because I don't think Floyd is going to risk losing his O at this point of his life. I don't think so. Okay, there's a whole brand based on this. You understand? Floyd still makes money of just finishing undefeated. He still sells clothes of just being undefeated. He still sells things of being the GOAT.
Being with you, I don't think him coming back to fight Manny Pacquiao will be risking his own.
Okay, well then, well, I don't know, but I seen the guy. I'm gonna be honest with you, and let's be truthful. And you could go back and watch it, whatever, and be like, he just messed around, Ezra. I seen him get touched by Blueface. I did. I saw him get touched by Blueface.
Oh my God!
I seen him get touched by Blueface. Okay, I seen him get touched by Blueface. Let me tell you something. Guys get old. They don't have the reflex anymore. And let me tell you something about Manny.
Blueface, come on.
Let me tell you something about Manny. I seen him in there at least competitive with Barrios. Hey, I seen him in there at least competitive with Barrios. Okay, so hey, let me tell you something.
You thought he was gonna get cooked.
I did, and you know what? And he was at least competitive in there. So let me tell you something. If he goes in with Floyd, that is a risk. I'm gonna tell you right now, because Floyd doesn't know what he is at that level. He has no idea what he is at that level anymore. Okay, he doesn't. So I don't think he did. I think Floyd wants an exhibition. I think he's gonna try to talk Manning to be like, hey, we can just get paid. We're gonna get paid good. Netflix will throw this fight. We can get paid good, not risk anything. We go in there, mess around, and that's it. I think that's what we try to talk him into. Whether Manny takes that or not, which I think Manny will, why not? There's a lot of money involved. There's a real potential of that. I don't really care about Manny fighting pro anymore. I gotta be honest with you. I don't care about it. I don't care about it. So either way, I don't give a damn. That's really the truth of the story. Either way, Ezra doesn't give a damn.
Somebody gives a damn. I guarantee you, this would be the biggest fight of the year.
It might be, but what the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean in boxing these days? What the hell does that? That means nothing in boxing these days.
That means
the biggest fight of the year don't mean anything.
We don't like tentpole events,
bro. Let me tell you something right now. The biggest fight of the year doesn't mean what it used to mean. I'll tell you that right now. It no longer means what it used to mean. So yeah, hell, if I get Tom Cruise and Justin Bieber in the ring, that'll be the biggest fight of the year. Who gives a damn? Who gives a damn? It doesn't matter.
This is Floyd. Hold on. This is two Hall of Famers, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao.
I get it, but they're bro. Once again, Hopkins, Roy Jones too. I mean, who gives a damn? Who gives a damn at this point? What does it matter? It doesn't do anything for either of their careers. Only thing it does is ruin Floyd's trademarks. That's it. It just ruins his trademarks. That's all.
If you say so. But I do find it interesting that Floyd would be willing to snipe a big event from PBC. You know, the funny thing is, a lot of people associate Floyd with PBC. Floyd has never actually fought on PBC. You know, so it's like, dude, what are you doing here? Are you trying to be bigger than the brand? I mean, you are bigger than the brand. Obviously, you're Floyd Mayweather, but can they live? I mean, like, these supposed to be your boys. Can they live?
No, nigga, we need parts.
Yeah, what are we doing here, man?
Ty, are you interested in this fight, Ty?
Not as a boxing fan. I'm interested to go outside and have. I'm interested as an event, but not as a boxing fan.
You know what
go
this
is? Have
fun. You know what they should do with this? This is a versus.
This
is a versus. This is 20 years of tracks versus 20 years of track. That's what this is. This is versus. That's all this is. This is versus. This isn't boxing. You should put this on a versus event. That's really what they should do. It's just dumb. I don't care about it. I have no interest in it. You want to make me interested in it? There's a way. There's always a way to get me, right? Have Manny Pacquiao fight for the belt. Floyd, you go fight Mario Barrios for the belt, and then fight each other. Prove to me you're at this level still, and then I'll be interested again. But other than that, I had no interest in this.
That's stupid.
So Floyd versus Barrios and Pacquiao versus Rolly?
Yep. And then winners fight each other.
I like that. I like it. I like it as.
You know why? Because it means something. It means something.
Can I tell you something? Floyd versus Manny Part 2 does not need any marination.
Of course not. It doesn't. But you know what?
It doesn't need a belt.
It needs legit. It needs to be
It doesn't need a
legitimized.
belt.
Thank you. It needs legitimized. I believe Ezra.
No. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao are legitimized. They're Teflon. Okay, they have done so much for the boxing game that they could just step in the ring and they're legitimized.
Can I tell you something? What we're in sports entertainment right now, we are in the retirement tour era, and I hate it. I got to be honest with you. I hate it. I don't think people need these things. I don't think we need it as fans. Okay,
so you didn't like Big Match John versus AJ Styles?
No, I don't. I got to be honest with you. I hate it. I hate it. And whether they delivered or not, that's fine. I hate it. I hate it. It ruins the thing because it's like slowing down the storyline. And we're going into two different things here, but you're slowing down the storyline. And boxing does have a storyline. Don't you think it doesn't? And when boxing doesn't have a continuous storyline, that's when it fails. Right now, we don't have a continuous storyline because we keep going back to like, let's pull this nonsense out. Let's pull this nonsense out. This is what this is. It's affecting with these stupid retirement things, these nostalgia stuff, all this nonsense. I'm gonna be honest with you. This ruined the Star Wars franchise. Let me just take this out over there. This ruined Star Wars franchise because you went back and you said, let's make a new movie. Let's put Han Solo in it. He's 90 years old. Let's put Luke Skywalker. He's 90 years old. Why the hell do I want to watch a 90-year-old?
Listen. I think
WWE do it. WWE do it all the time.
Once we start the nerd talk, it's time to move on. I've never seen Star Wars.
It's the truth. It's culture. That's what the problem with the culture right now.
I'm surprised, Matt. You ain't seen Star Wars, man.
No one wants to do it anymore.
Ty, I'm a heterosexual black male.
No, bro. I'm not trying to play. I know you watch a lot. You watch different stuff. You don't do it.
I'm not a nerd.
Okay, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry.
I don't watch cartoons.
But what the problem is with the culture now is that no one's creative anymore. No one wants to build anymore. They constantly want to go back to something that was already built, and that's done. That's done.
Well, that's how movies are too, though, Ezra.
I just said that. That's Star Wars.
My bad.
I just said that. Wrestling, it's the exact same way. All these things are the same way. Hell, even like talk about the UFC. The UFC is the same way. They're all the same way. And you know what doesn't do it? And once again, football. Football doesn't do it. The NBA
they can't do it. They can't do it.
Exactly. Why, Ty? Because it's real.
No, because it's a young man's product.
Yeah, exactly. Because if your old guy tries to go in there, a young guy's going to take his head off. That's the way boxing should be ran. If Floyd Mayweather wants to come back, then there's some young guns I know that want to take his head off. If Manny Pacquiao wants to come back, at least he did fight Barrios. So it was a young guy that tried to take his head off. That was real for that point. I don't care about it going forward, but that was real.
Wait, but you didn't care about the Barrios Pacquiao fight either.
But what did I say? But what did I say? I said no. But what did I say about Keith Thurman? What did I say about Keith Thurman versus Fundora? What did I say about it? I said one thing I respect about it is that Keith Thurman is trying to prove he's a legitimate guy still. He's fighting a young guy that's going to try to take his head off. I respect that. That's the only way I respect it. But do I care about it? No, because I don't think Manny Pacquiao is a high-level guy. I'd rather see Mario Barrios fight Norman, Devin Haney. I'd probably see him fight one of those guys. So that to me are guys that are legitimately fighters right now. But if Pacquiao wants to stay around and keep fighting young guns, then fine, we could do it.
Anything else on this before we move on?
I've been done.
All right. So one of the other big announcements we got this week was the Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz card announced in San Antonio, Texas. So included on that card, we have Frank Martin versus Rancis Bartholomew, Jesus Ramos versus Shane Mosley Jr., Oshaki Foster versus Stephen Fulton for the WBC Super Featherweight title, Janabek versus Lara for the WBO and WBA and IBF, right? And IBF middleweight titles. And then in the main event, as we just said, Isak Cruz versus Lamont Roach. Looks like there's going to be an interim WBC 140-pound title on the belt on the line for that.
Let's go.
Matt, got a question for you. Simple question. What's better, this card or the Benavidez Yard card?
Woo!
This card is better.
This card is better. This card is better. And I gotta say this, right? For these Saudi ring events, are like, we're gonna stack the cards and everything. PBC beat them. I got to be honest with you. PBC beat them. And we're going to stack card. And you know what? They did it in a more creative fashion. They didn't just take the fights and we like kind of make sense. Like, okay, that's needs to make it happen. they did it in a more creative fashion. Like Roach and Cruz, I love that matchmaking. That's what I'm talking about, building something. That is they brought out someone, they said, let's get something creative here. What can we make? What can we make here that people will be interested? And they made something that I think that's fantastic. This is my kind of matchmaking. Janovic, Lara, I mean, that just needs to happen, right? At this point, you got Lara knocking people out. I got Janovic knocking people out. But I kind of see him versus someone with a pulse. We're going to see it. We're going to see it. And then you get Oshaki versus Fulton. I mean, come on. Come on. You can't. All these fights mean something.
Ezra, will Brunch Boxing be in San Antonio for this?
Yes. Brunch Boxing will be in San Antonio for this. I never thought in my life, I got to be honest with you, that I would ever go to San Antonio. And you could have told me, I would have bet my life on it. I will never step foot in San Antonio. I'm going to step both feet into San Antonio.
I mean, what did Charles Barkley say about San Antonio?
You should get a cowboy hat, Ezra.
I am going to get a cowboy hat. I am going to get a cowboy hat.
So we're going to have a Fight Week vlog from Ezra?
Yeah, I might stream the whole damn thing.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
I'm looking forward to this event. Ezra, before we move too far away, what was your grade for Floyd versus Manny 2?
C grade, just a C.
Okay. So we heard Ezra's thoughts on this card. Matt, what was your reaction?
First of all, it's the card of the year. And I feel like, and this is the one thing that I think we're missing when it comes to boxing in terms of 2025. A lot of times this year, when I've heard a card announced, I've called it the card of the year. We've had some damn good product this year in boxing. We just haven't had enough of it, which is the problem. We've had great product, but then we've had lull periods. Like right now, we're in the dark ages of boxing. Like this last month, Jesus Christ, we've had nothing. We've had nothing we could sink our teeth into.
We need some blue magic, man.
Yeah. Thank God for Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley.
Yeah.
That kind of.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. That was like water in the desert. That was some good stuff.
What your man Big E said, Matt?
Hey, no, you mean what Dan Canobio says? Apparently that's his thing now. Big meaty men throwing heat. It's Dan Canobio's thing now. Shout out to Dan Canobio. I like Dan Canobio.
Okay. I keep my comments to myself.
I
keep my comments to myself now.
I think Dan Canobio has also done French boxing before. If I remember correctly. I think he's also done French boxing before. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what things out there. I don't know.
Well, no. He did French and boxing.
Oh, okay. Right.
See, the and made it original.
Got to hit my trademark lawyers to get that holds up.
But I will say, obviously, this fight is this whole card is an A+, and the fact that PBC were able to move the entire Fundora Thurman event to this undercard, and you have Janovic versus Lara. That is, come on.
So what about?
Go ahead.
So what about Thurman? What about Thurman?
Thurman Fundora is going in January.
That's great.
Now I will say this. Them losing Tank to another card is forcing them to be creative. And I think that the being forced to be creative and the thing we're in, I think led to this great card. And I think
I don't like that.
It led to creativity. And I do think that if they can go forward and build off of this, I think they have something here. You know what I mean? But you gotta not based on one guy and go and try to build the new stars now. Go try to build the new guys now. And these cards like this, like I'm just saying, if Janovic wins, you got you still have some interesting stuff there. If Lara wins, you have some interesting stuff there. Like you still do. Any guy wins here, you got some interesting stuff to play with there. And that's a really good spot to be in. You got really, really good spot to be in.
Yeah. They might get a chance to fight the king.
Question. What did Tank have to do with Benavidez versus Morale?
No, I get the no. Listen.
Yeah. So
let me say this though. Losing Canelo right? Not having Canelo fight led to Benavidez Morale. That's what I'm going to tell you though. Is that when you get stuck just building off of 1-2 guys, you lose a little bit of creativity.
They
And you
lost,
kind of go around.
they lost Canelo after, not
No,
before.
I get you. What I'm saying is Canelo wasn't going to take the fights that they wanted him to take. Okay. And you led to creativity. And those creativity, we get the matchups like this. I want these promoters in some desperate state a little bit because I think that's going to lead to good product. I think that's going to lead to some outside the box thinking because we got too much in the norm of just doing the standard status quo. I don't like it. Let's give me something like this because, like I said, I think people agree on Twitter too that this is the better card. I think people do. And if the ones that don't want to admit it, they know in their heart.
You know, it's so funny. I was talking to a couple of people within BBC. This was the first time, at least that I've seen, that PBC announced a fight card, and it was universal praise, even from their haters.
Yo, KB's hilarious. KB's hilarious.
What's that comment, Huey?
All right. EzRaw with some groundbreaking stuff we didn't think of. Build more than one guy. Heyman definitely never thought of that before.
Hey, he could take it. But here's the thing, though. Let me tell you something right now. And I will tell you that this is from prime example, right? In my industry, there's one thing that we focused on for a lot of years. I focused on this one thing, and we just attacked it, right? That dried up. And when that dried up, I realized there was a whole other world open up to me that maybe I wasn't considering. And maybe everything I was putting towards this was a waste, and I could have just spread it all here. Now, everything else opened up to me. So I'm not saying that, this is a groundbreaking idea. I agree with KB on that. But what I do think is when it's easy and it's right there, you tend to go to what's easy and right there and what you know. And now, because the tank thing's not there, they get to look at the whole thing and say, actually, we have some interesting things here. It's kind of like the A's. The A's say we have some interesting things we could do here. We play some money.
The what?
Here. The A's. The Athletics.
Baseball, man. Baseball.
Oh my, yo, bro.
Hey, I'm well versed in it. Hey, I'm well versed in it. I'm gonna listen. Today, I don't know if you noticed. I've thrown Star Wars.
I don't know what you were thinking.
Ezra, I thought you said the AIDS.
Oh, no.
I was like, what the like what?
Yo, man.
No. Listen,
come on, even I got the reference. Come on, I ain't a baseball guy. I got you, Ezra.
I'm well versed. I brought in Star Wars, wrestling, the Athletic. I'll bring it all over.
Okay, Matt, you're not alone. People in the comments also heard that.
Yeah, I thought you said the AIDS. I'm like, what?
You could rewind it back. That's a genius of the show. You can record it. You can play it back.
They mind in the gutter, Ezra. They mind in the gutter.
Yeah, exactly. When they lost Damon, right? When they lost all their guys, right? They said, we're screwed. No, they said, we could change the game here. There's some stuff we could do here that is undervalued that we could do. And I get what KB's saying. I get it, right? I get it. We've been doing this. I get you.
Hey, you know what's funny?
Let me tell you something.
I can tell that KB has gotten under your skin. You just looking at his comment. You trying to respond. He's under your skin.
No, because I get what KB's saying, and it does. I get that. It sounds simple, but we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here if the tank stuff didn't happen. We wouldn't be at this spot that we're at with this creativity, with all these things like that. I'm telling you, this leads to thinking outside the box a little bit, and that leads to some great stuff.
So what you're telling me is that Al Heyman is playing Moneyball now.
I think so, and I'm starting to like it. I got to be honest with you. He's like Jonah Hill's telling Brad Pitt, "There's some interesting stuff right here on the board."
I would just like to point out that last year PBC put on stacked events.
This year,
PBC put on stacked events.
I'm with you. I'm just saying, look, whatever. This is later.
I'm just saying. That's funny to me, man. You're a funny guy, man. It can't just be that PBC is great at putting on events.
No, they are.
They're forced to do it. Why? No. Hold on. Why is it every time PBC does something good, everyone tries to claim they're forced into it?
No,
it's almost like a backhanded compliment.
It's not a backhanded compliment. See, that's the part you don't get. Because I'll be honest with you. All these other but let me tell you, all these other companies, I'll be honest with you, they mail it in. I'll be honest with you. When it's time to get career for these other companies, they ain't got it. Well, the thing is, the PBC's always had it. They've always been able to make these big events and everything like that. But what I think they did is they got too reliant a little bit on the names that they had. I think they did. And I think that now that they don't have those really as options right now, I'm seeing something that I like, and it's a little bit more taking chances with some guys and putting them in the main event. Taking chances of saying, "Hey, I think these guys could do something if we put them in the right spot." And I think it's gonna be successful. I just think that sometimes you just take what's in front of you. That's not no problem. Everyone does that. But when that's taken away from you, it leads to some creativity.
Okay. All right. Well, this card, great card. I'm glad it's coming together December 6th. I was looking at the ticket sales. Look like the tickets are flying already.
Yep.
And I'm hearing, and don't quote me on this, but I'm hearing that they have something special planned for the rollout of this card.
Oh, really?
Like, this is going to be a huge event. Like, PBC is going to end the year with a bang. You
I
know,
love it.
so I can't wait. And Ezra's already committed to being in San Antonio for Fight Week, right? Fight Week,
Yes.
not
When
just
does
Fight Night. Fight
No,
Week.
I know that, but when is like, because there's certain weeks, whatever. When does fight week start? It's not
Well,
Monday.
usually with PBC, they have the press conference on Wednesday and the workout. They might
Yeah.
have an undercard press conference on Thursday, and then they'll have the weigh-in on Friday, and then obviously Fight Night Saturday.
I
So
think from
Wednesday to Saturday.
Wednesday, Saturday, yes.
But if I were you, I would get in there on Tuesday.
I don't think I can do that, but like I said, I'll be rolling in on Wednesday.
Okay.
Before we move on, TY, one of your guys got moved to this card, Stephen Fulton and the Oshaki Foster fight. You have any thoughts on this card or that fight before we move on?
Oh, and the new. All I gotta say, 3 division and the new.
It's funny. Oshaki Foster and Stephen Fulton, they've almost taken over as the stars of this card.
Yeah, they have.
Yep.
like I'm
And
seeing them
the
everywhere,
new.
man. I'm seeing them everywhere. That Gillian Wallow interview where
Great content.
where Fulton was like, so
You
you
gonna step? You gonna
gonna
step?
walk me
You gonna
down?
step?
You gonna walk me down?
You gonna step?
You gonna walk it down? Or you gonna walk it? Yo, that shit was gold. Absolute gold. Very good stuff, man. And I gotta say, maybe Ty was right. Maybe Fulton could be a guy that sells. Just gotta give him a chance. Because him and Oshaki Foster, who would have thought that these two guys, you put them together and they're making magic. They're making magic, man.
Just gonna give my man Hall of Fame ticket stamped right here. 3 division. Get this Hall of Fame credential stamped right here, Ezra.
Yep.
Hey, salute to my man Ray Jackson, live from the forklift. Salute Ray Jackson, my man, joining us. Shout out Ray Jackson.
All right, let's get on to the next topic. Matt, earlier this week, you were at a media workout with Devin Haney. So what are some of your takeaways from the workout and interview that you had with him?
So what I will say, and obviously salute to Devin Haney and his team, Crystal of Mad Women, Bella of Mad Women, Bill Haney for putting this all together. I think Devin Haney looked sharp as shit, man. He looked very, very sharp. He looked powerful. He looked fast. He was moving fluid. He looked like he's ready to fight now. You know.
I'm gonna put that comment up from Margot Bandalorian right there. You were at the media workout with Deebo, not Devin.
Yeah, I will say Deebo Devin Haney is a great nickname.
That is a great nickname.
That is a great nickname. That was great, great, great stuff. You know. So I was very happy with what I saw from him. In talking to him, he just sounds like he's ready to go. And that's what I wanted to hear from him. He sounded more confident. He sounded like almost as if he feels like Brian Norman is food, and we just don't know it yet. That's how he talking. He's laughing about it. It's like, yo, he to me, because I could read people. He was like, y'all don't even know what I'm about to do to this kid. That's the sense I got from him. You know, so to me, this is another banger fight, man. And he did address Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Javonte Davis, Ryan Garcia. He did address those guys. He addressed his hit list. He still wants to smoke, but he says he can't force guys to get into the ring with him. He said that he's willing to fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. Put a paper in front of him, he signed it, and he's stepping in the ring. Now, did you get a chance to watch the interview that we did with Devin Haney, EzRaw?
Yes, of course.
Well,
I will
what
say
did
this.
you glean from it?
I got everything you got from it. I'm 100%. But I will say this, though. This is the one thing. And like I said if Devin Haney is the one that fought Prograis, if he's the one that fought Lomachenko, I really like his chances in this fight. The problem that I have, and I'm sure he looks great on the pads, Devin Haney is a really, really talented fighter. I've always said that. And I think that, I think on the pads he's going to look amazing no matter what. On a bag, he's going to look amazing no matter what. The problem I have with him is he looked very tentative against Ramirez. He looked like he didn't want to get punched against Ramirez, right? He looked like he was afraid to get hit against Ramirez. And I can't see that until he gets in the ring. What if he's still like that? Did he shake those cobwebs off? Did he get rid of that? Or is that still going to be an issue? And if it's still an issue, he's not going to be the same fighter, right? And he probably won't have a chance of winning this fight. So that's the thing. It's like I'm basically the problem why you get predictions wrong is because you see the last performance and you're saying, "Oh, damn, there's something wrong here in that performance." Now, sometimes guys work their way out of that. They get the confidence back. They get in the gym. They figure out something. He got away from. He's two fights now away from the Ryan fight. I won't know that until he's in the ring. But if I'm basing it off what he looked like Ramirez, I don't think he's going to want to get touched by Norman.
So I feel kind of the opposite way. I feel like if he fights the way he fought Lomachenko and those guys, he's going to lose. If he fights the way he fought Ramirez, he's going to win. I think
I remember you saying that you thought the way he moved in that fight is not entertaining, but it'll win him titles. You said,
yeah, because I thought that to me, that was the best Devin Haney looked in his career defensively against Ramirez.
oh,
Why? Because he used his legs for defense instead of trying to do the whole. You know that shit that y'all. Instead of trying to do all that, he used his legs. I think that's what he needs to do. That's what he needs to do. Because the more you use your legs, I think the more desperate your opponent gets. And sometimes you could catch your opponent out of position. And then maybe you could pot shot him with something nasty that might knock him down.
And I agree with you. I agree with you on that. The only problem is that when he used his legs in that fight, I didn't think it came with confidence. So, like, I'm good to use your legs, move around the ring, make the guy reach, and you could catch him coming in. But the problem is he looked like he was using his legs to completely get away from action 100%, with not a plan to respond, because he wasn't really responding off the leg movement against Ramirez. He would touch Ramirez when they would stand in front of each other. He would touch him once, and then he would hold. Then he would move around the ring, move around the ring, move around the ring. That's not going to work against Brian Norman. That you would have to have some confidence in what you're doing. You have to have some belief in what you're doing in your game. I think he can move around him because Brian Norman is a bit of a plotter. He's a bit planted fighter. So I do see advantages in doing that. But you have to also have confidence in what you're doing. And I'm not sure that Haney has that yet. Has it back yet.
All right. Well,
And the new.
we'll find out
And
in
the
3 weeks.
new. That's my prediction.
We'll see. To me, this is a true 50-50 fight. I have no clue who's going to win. I know who I'm rooting for, but I don't know who's going to win.
He's going to touch that body. He ain't going to like it. I'm telling you, Dev's going to touch his body. He's going to see those levels. I'm telling y'all.
It's one of those things where I have to see it in the ring. You got to see what they look like as soon as the first round. You get confidence in it.
Yeah, I'll obviously have a better idea after the first round, but like that's one of those where you do kind of have to see how they react to each other and then really get an idea of how that fight's going to go.
Hey, listen, I already know what the brunch boxing post fight thing going to be. Matt going to say, why did I ever doubt Bill Haney? That's what you're going to say, man. That's going to be the title of the space after that night. Why did I ever doubt Bill Haney? And the new.
We will see on November 22nd. Here we go. Next up, we saw that next bout's going to be on pay-per-view. Matt, can you give us a little bit more information on why?
Well, apparently Lamimo, which is the platform he's been fighting on his last couple fights, decided to put it on pay-per-view. I don't know who's to blame. I do find it oddly coincidental that his first fight with Riyadh season is going to be pay-per-view. So whatever. I think it's a shame because he's made it a point to make his fights accessible for the Japanese fans, and he's been doing great, great numbers. No one's hard up for money. Why is this pay-per-view? Anyway hasn't been on pay-per-view since 2021. Why are they putting him back on behind the paywall? I
Nope.
think I know the Japanese fans are not happy about this.
No one has been able to answer the question of, and we've talked about it many times, if Turki Al-Sheikh is not in this for money, and money's not a thing with this, he just wants to invest in the sport, or it's just a tourism move by a player or whatever, why is everything pay-per-view? No one's been able to answer that. No one's been able to answer that. Not gotten a good answer on it. No one's had a good theory on it because no one can explain it, right? No one can explain it.
Now I'm wondering if this event is going to be pay-per-view in the U.S.
I think it is. Now, here's the thing.
That'd be insane.
Here's the thing, though. I don't see. It's not a short-term play because the funny part is I heard Eddie Hearn talking about Wardley versus Parker, and he was saying, "Oh, well, what they make, they have to put it on pay-per-view because no one's willing to cover it." They didn't make that money back. That's the part that I'm very confused about. They're not making the money back for these fights because no one is buying them. Okay, so even putting it on pay-per-view, there's no logic to it because you're not making the money back on it. Long term, right? You would say, okay, we're going to take a loss here, anyways. Let's get as much people watching it so we could build something going forward that people would be invested in. But they're not doing that because they're not pay-per-view, so no one's watching it. I don't get the play here. And the only explanation to me that makes any sense, I'm not saying this is what's happening, is you're trying to suffocate the sport. That's the only thing, is that you're trying to kill the momentum of the sport. That's the only thing that would kind of make some sense to me if you're saying strategically this is what they're doing. Now you would say, well, why would they do that? Well, I mean, that would be to gain control of the sport and say, hey, none of you guys can sell, none of you guys think I've lost a bunch of money on you guys, and no one watches the sport, so now I can get you at the value that I want. Maybe, right? Maybe that's a long-term play. I don't know. Maybe we're overthinking it, and there is no logic to it. There's a good chance of that too. Maybe there's no logic to it, and they just think that you put a pay-per-view, it feels like a bigger fight, and everything should be pay-per-view because that's what a big fight feels like. I don't know. But no one can explain to me. I'm just waiting. Just give me someone that has a credible theory on why they do it. These people that say that we're attacking them and that Turkey saved in boxing, come and explain right now, right? Because the thing's open. Come explain why these things are pay-per-view. Explain this.
I would like to drop that StreamYard link for End Conquest 2.
All right, I can put it in the chat.
Because End Conquest 2 has some thoughts about this.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
He's saying that it's not Turkey's decision. So why is Turkey the one always talking about we're eliminating pay-per-view for my events?
Yeah, I don't get it, because how is it not Turkey's decision? He's the one that throws the event. Because here's the thing, right?
Well, we just dropped the StreamYard link for End Conquest 2 to join us real quick on Brunch Boxing, making his Brunch Boxing debut. So click that link, join us, and let's hear your thoughts on this situation.
And Matt, correct me if I'm wrong here, right? Because if he throws an event, right, and he says, I want to put this on DAZN, right, and the DAZN says, well, we'll offer maybe this much money, but we're not going to cover the full pay or anything like that, right, that you're looking for. Well, he could cover that in his end, right? He could say, okay, I'll go, and then I'll take the loss here, right? And we'll still have this event because I know that over time. But that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. That's the thing, is that like so ridiculous. Is it's not some deal that they have. It's not something that they have to put a pay-per-view. No, they're choosing to do it pay-per-view. They're choosing to make these pay-per-view, and there's no logical strategy that makes sense to explain that.
Yeah, and here's what see, you don't want to join us. Why? You guys gotta don't get used to the fingers and the typing. Get your ass on here and be heard.
If you don't want to be on the recorded broadcast, I definitely understand that. But if you're on Twitter, join a space sometime. Honestly, give it it's actually great to speak about this and have some back and forth on it. But I do like what Bandalorian said here, where maybe it's the zone executives not being on the same page as Turkey.
No. Let me stop you right there, because here's the thing: when a fight is not on pay-per-view, then what is it? They're granted It's a licensing fee
Yes.
that they're paying out from a budget. So if most of these events are pay-per-view, which is to shift the costs of the event to the consumer stuff, then how much are the zone paying the licensing fees?
Exactly.
Where's this $1 billion a year with that Eddie Hearn said he had?
But either way, they could pay a portion of what they're willing to pay, and you could cover the
Correct.
rest of the costs. So that's
Correct.
not. That's what I'm saying. There's no, like I said once again, and I've heard the other side of it. No one has given me a reason why these fights are pay-per-view and what the strategic thing is, because you're losing money either way. I promise you, you are losing money either way. But now you're also not getting the viewership. So I don't know what they are gaining to even having these events. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, listen. Every single Riyadh season and ring event has been pay-per-view, except for Golden Boy Latino Fight Night in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
It's the only one that wasn't pay-per-view. So where's the licensing fees? We always hear that PBC is broke, Amazon's not giving them no money, Amazon's not giving them no dates. That's why they do pay-per-view, pay-per-view, pay-per-view. So does that mean that the zone and them are going broke since everything's on pay-per-view? Should we glean the same thing from that? Should we make the same leap of faith and leap in logic for that?
Joseph Barker and Wardley is not like some astronomical pay fight. It just isn't. Okay, it's just not. It's not. So if that's pay-per-view, then the bar of pay-per-view, which, like I said, people accuse PBC of, has been
they had Atama versus Dillian White.
Come on. And how does that help Moises Atama's career? No one's watching it. That's the problem. Like I don't understand. There's no strategy to it. It doesn't make any sense. And I've been thinking about it over and over. We've been a long time here thinking about it. What is the strategy here? I don't get it other than to suffocate the sport. That's the only thing I could come up with.
Yeah, the strategy is to break the business down to the point where it's almost like spoils of war. Like when the Soviet collapsed, you had a whole bunch of people like reaping the benefits of it. That's how you had the oligarchs. Funny enough, Lem Blavatnik, the owner of the zone, was one of those guys. But anyway, once you break down the business enough where you could buy everything up for cheap, then you can set the price, you can set all the rules to the way you want it, to where you make the profit that you want. They're trying to break it down.
That's the only way that makes sense. That's the only logic that makes sense to me. But people tell me that they're saving boxing. People tell me that this is what we need, and I'm very confused on what they mean by that. Like I said, I love a good stat card. I'm with you on that. We're not getting that many stat cards. I got to be honest with you. As much as people want to say that, we're not getting that many. Okay, I honestly, how many stat cards are we getting from them? 2 a year? Now it's just everything else is just pretty standard. But now I'm paying for everything. I'm not seeing this because people want it. You see what you want to see. That's honestly the truth. And I've seen that in everything. Now, you see what you want to see. But if we're being honest and we got to really get down to it, what are they achieving and accomplishing with this? I don't see it.
Yeah. I think they're accomplishing their goals.
Well, like I said, if they're trying to strengthen the sport, yeah.
All right. So moving on here, next topic, we have Alexander Usyk and Fabio Wardley have begun their negotiations to match up. What are your thoughts here? Ezra, we'll save Matt's thoughts for the heavyweight fight. Let's start with you.
I think that the fight makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Look, I get that Usyk's going to be a big favorite in this fight. I mean, that's just that if you watch it, Wardley's got a chance that if he catches him, he puts him to sleep. But Usyk's superior in the ring at him pretty much everything. And like I said, Usyk can crack a heavyweight too, right? He's not like a guy like, I don't have no power. He could get Wardley out of there himself. It's a great fight though, because Wardley's coming off his best W. He's coming off all the momentum. That's what boxing needs. You need to get a guy. The one thing that Floyd always did was he fought a guy off the highest of his momentum. His best win, let me get him in the ring. That's what you keep building, right? He's got the momentum. You don't waste that momentum. You don't put Wardley in a bunch of other fights. No, you put him in the fight with the guy. People will be interested in it. They want to see how far this guy could go because he has an excellent story. It's a guy that came and did boxing as completely the lowest level. The thing that he didn't take serious, and he became a legit fighter. He was talented enough to become a legit fighter. He had the talent to do it. And Usyk is a guy now that needs to deepen his resume. That's like what he needs to do. So the biggest complaint is like, hey, you need to go through a bunch of different type of guys. This is a different type of guy, different type of style. I love what they're doing here. This is the fight that makes perfect sense. And I want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it get over the finish line. First of all, great fight between Wardley and Parker. Wasn't in love with the stoppage, but it is what it is. On to the next one, Wardley Usyk. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen for sooner rather than later. This is a fight that I think we should be getting in the first quarter of 2026.
Yes.
Maybe sometime in February or March, something like that. I think that's what we should be doing.
And please,
put
it in the UK.
Yes, put it in the UK. Absolutely. We do have another guest joining us here today, host of the longest running boxing podcast, The Boxing Source, J.R. Bell. How you doing today?
Yo, mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's happening?
You coming through clear?
Hey, what's going on, JBZ?
Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on?
All good, man. You talk about this thing here with Usyk and Fabio Wardley, right? I did watch the fight between Wardley and Parker. Pretty good fight, and all that type of stuff. And Wardley getting the win, WBO interim champion. But I don't think that fight between Usyk and Wardley should be next. I think that's like a similar situation to when they tried to boost up Moses Atama after he had that 1-round knockout win over Dylan White, right? So kind of like hold off Wardley for a little bit, hold off Moses Atama for a little bit, and have Alexander Usyk face somebody else, okay? And my suggestion for Alexander Usyk for his next fight, particularly if it becomes within the next, 6 or 7 months or so, is the only fighter that's left within that heavyweight era that we all kind of like got into the heavyweight sport with, and that is the bronze bomber Deontay LaShawn Wilder.
Hey, you know what? This motherfucker spitting. This motherfucker spitting right here. You know what? Bye-bye, Fabio Wardley. Bye-bye.
We like, I mean, people like I said.
Here comes us. Wait. Here comes the wet blanket. Here comes the wet blanket.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. We need to slow down. Okay? Let me tell you something right now. I'm all right with Wilder getting a shot, right? I'm all right with it. Can he have a fight that? Can he have a fight that we're like, that's a good win before he gets a shot?
No.
Hold on. No. What's the complaint about Usyk, right? What's the complaint? We just had these discussions. He fought Tyson Fury coming off of the Nagano fight. Hell, if he fights Wilder coming off his last few performances, that's going to take criticism. There's no point. I'll be honest with you. Right now, there's nothing to gain for Usyk in that fight. I'm going to be honest with you. If Wilder goes and knocks out, let's say, Andy Ruiz, let's just say that's a fight that's been kind of rumored for a little bit. Let's just say he knocks out Andy Ruiz. I'm willing to hear the talks, right? I'm willing to hear the talks at that point. But this is a stacked heavyweight division.
Listen, man.
And I will say this: Moses Atama knocking out Dylan White and Fabio Wardley knocking out Joseph Parker is not on the same value level. Okay, Joseph Parker was the next guy. He had earned this title shot. He had went through a lot of names and contenders in the division, and Fabio Wardley got him out of there. And not just a good fight, JBG, a great fight. An all-time fight, okay? A very, very excellent fight, okay? And that's a hell of a performance. I'm sorry, but Wardley deserves a shot.
As I watched the fight, it was a very close fight, okay? Mm-hmm. Some would have thought that Parker had the lead up to that particular point.
Yes.
The stoppage, to me, is a Howard Foster special, as in he is known for many questionable stoppages.
I agree with you.
Okay. You had the instance with Daniel Dubois and I forgot like he was in there with Kevin Lorena when Kevin Lorena knocked Dubois down 3 times in the first round.
He gave Dubois every chance.
Gave him every chance. So given this level of controversy between Parker and Wardley, I say what, like have that be a buzz for a little bit right now, and just say what. As long as Usyk is being a warrior, let's have Usyk have one more fight in the U.S. against Deontay Wilder.
this is about my respect for Deontay Wilder. This isn't the same Deontay Wilder. I seen the comment. Someone said he would have Joshua, Fury, and Wilder. That's not Wilder. I'm sorry. Can we be honest? Because I think you guys say the same thing. That's not, if he beats this Wilder, that's not the Wilder that we saw. That's not the Wilder that was scary. That's not the Wilder that was maybe the best heavyweight in the world. Okay, that's not the same guy. So no, I'm sorry. We have problems when Bam beats Estrada, and he's still a champion. But we're not gonna have problems with beating Wilder at this point. No.
Listen,
Usyk
all right.
is older himself. What do you mean?
Oh, but he's at the top of his game.
But here's the thing, right?
All ages are the same.
Heavyweight's different too.
Yeah, here's the thing, and I kind of mentioned this in one of my podcasts, of course, live Sundays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. But when it comes to this interim thing, they kind of like pose it as a mandatory, right? So at the time, Joseph Parker was a mandatory challenger to Alexander Usyk, but by losing to Fabio Wardley, depending on what the rules are for the WBO, that would open the door for Usyk to have a voluntary defense. So I say, if that's the case, why not Wilder?
What was Wilder's last win?
Over in Wichita, Kansas.
Versus?
Tyrell Herndon.
Say it again.
Yo, let's move on. Cause you pissing me
I
off.
just said it again. Who was the guy?
No, it's okay.
I don't think I got to be honest with you.
Actually, Ezra, you do have a heart out here at the top of the hour, so we should.
I do, but just real quick, I don't think I heard you right. Now let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving.
All right, so let's combine these next two. We have a year under Gustavo Oliveira at the WBO. Matt, what are your thoughts about the new look at WBO? What have they gotten right? What have they gotten wrong?
Well, they've gotten almost everything right. The one that they've gotten wrong, no title shot for Albert Bell. Come on, man. But it looks like Albert Bell's probably going to get a title shot within another organization now, but it should not have come to that. I think they should have did right by him. I don't think they did right by him. But other than that, I think that he's done a lot of good for the sport this year. He's done a lot of good with the WBO. It seems like they have a fair explanation for everything that makes sense, and it's been consistent. So, salute to him. He's showing a new wrinkle, a new look for the WBO, and it's been good so far. What are your thoughts?
Do you have, well, before we move on to that, do you have, like I said, I wanted to combine these. Do you have any thoughts and takeaways from the WBO convention that happened earlier this week?
I think it is very interesting that David Morrell versus Callum Smith was announced for November 22nd. Obviously, not happening November 22nd. They still don't have a date for it. Matchroom claims that it's close. TGB said they don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I'm kind of wondering if we're going to get Callum Smith versus David Morrell at all.
I think we are. I got to be honest with you. I think we are. I don't know why the confusion is in that, but I do think that fight makes a lot of sense for both sides. I don't see why Morrell's side wouldn't want that fight. Smith, he needs Matchroom's going to be willing to do it because they're just, at this point, they just got to get paydays out of Smith. So yeah, fight will happen. I am curious on Matt. Is this the best process we have? Is this the best process we have as far as people going up and recommending or requesting these things from a sanctioning body? Would you say this is the best way to do it?
Honestly, I think it is.
Really?
Yes. Because
You don't think email would be better?
No, but what I mean,
I like stuff live for content, but let me say why before you get frenetic. All right. I think that with all the fights that go on around the world, it's not difficult to lose sight of a fighter. So I think every fighter should have their representation at these conventions and lobby on their behalf. Hey, don't forget about us. Because because listen,
it's a very valid point.
There's been times where Gustavo has readily admitted, and even with David Morrell, hey, David Morrell wasn't in the WBO light heavyweight standings after the David Benavidez fight, It was an oversight. They forgot. It wasn't something like malice they're trying to hold them back. It was just an oversight. So I think having things like this kind of gets rid of the oversight part of it. You have this thing once a year. Everybody shows up. Everyone descends upon whatever location it's at. You introduce yourself, lobby for your guys. Hey, I think my guy should be doing this. This is what we've been doing with our guy. This is why he should be ranked here. I think that's an excellent way to do it. And then it goes to the executive committee and they make a decision.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I think that I would hope that a sanctioning body would be more on top of it. I guess that would be my hope. I think that the rankings are too done on the fly type of thing.
How many fighters are there in the world as well? Like
No,
over
I get it.
27,000.
No. I get you. I get you, right? But listen, me and you watch boxing, okay? And you, I think, pay attention to guys that I don't even know of more than I do.
Yeah,
You're able
but
to follow.
there's a
No,
fight
no,
going
hold
on in Tanzania right now that
No,
we're
no,
not
I get you. I get
aware
you.
of.
No, I get you. But the ring guys, listen, I know a lot of guys like BB. I know guys like Lord and all them, and they watch guys I never even heard of, right? And they'll be like, he's ranked number 16 in the flyweight, whatever, right? If they can follow it, these guys can follow it. A sanctioning body who gets paid to do it should follow it. Okay. There's fights happening all over the place, but that don't mean that they're ranked guys. That don't mean that the fights actually mean anything. So I get you, but at a certain point, at a certain level of ranking, you should be able to follow it. You should be able to pay
but
attention.
you don't. But a lot of times, and I look at it the same way I look at sometimes people fall through the cracks. That's why you have to have someone advocate on their behalf.
I
What
get
if
you.
what
No,
if there's a guy who maybe he's fighting obscure fights that you never heard of, but he is one of the best fighters in the world. He just never got that opportunity to show because he hasn't got that stage. That's the purpose of this. Give
no,
them the stage, at least put
Yep.
their name out there. It's like networking, basically.
no, I get that, but a lot of it's not every guy is like that though, right? There's some big names that go up there, like you said,
But
Morale,
but
and
but for the guys that are like that,
I get
this
you. I get you.
is
So I'm not saying
important.
eliminate this process. What I'm saying is when you have guys in the top 15 and you need to be reminded, look at I always go to this example, and it's such a ridiculous example, but it's something that actually happened. The guy goes up there and he says, I know this guy lost, but he had jet lag. And he showed up a day late. And we got there later. So I know he lost, but he had jet lag. He wasn't feeling good. He lost a fight. I don't think we should drop in the rankings. And the guy goes, we got to consider that. No, you don't. No, you don't have to consider that. Okay. You don't have to consider that. That's nonsense. I don't know what the hell that means. Okay. So that's the problem I have with the system. The ranking should be more solid. It should make more sense. Guys shouldn't just pop up and pop down out of nowhere. Okay. We just talked about Sharetta Metcalf. She just flew off the rankings after losing the belt. She off the ranking. So wait, your champ wasn't worthy of a top 10 ranking? How does that make sense? These things, the one thing that allows in anything in the world, right? If you're gonna allow someone to come in and ruin it, it's because you have holes in it that you're not solidifying, you're not fixing. So you're allowing people to complain about it and saying, "Hey, there's a problem here," and it could lead to someone bringing in a worse system. But they have to be more consistent. I should be able to understand why guys move up and down the rankings, and I should be able to tell that when the fight happens. I shouldn't have to wait after and be like, "I wonder what the logic's going to be here." That's the problem I have with it. The problem I have is that you got to go in there and tell these guys when these guys should be on top of it. I'm with you that should be a thing where guys that are not discovered don't have the management. But hey, this guy told me. He told me to on our show, hey, I'm not going to give this guy a title shot, even though he's ranked number 1, because he doesn't have a promoter that's going to get him the fight. Hey, what's your job then? I'm sorry. If you need this guy to get a promoter to get the fight, well, hell, let's just get rid of you then. Because then what the hell's the point of that? That's always been the process. You're the point of the sanctioning body in these rankings is to get guys an opportunity that couldn't get an opportunity because they don't have a big business behind them. That's the whole point of it. So if you're telling me you can't get them a fight because you're a sanctioning body and they don't have a big business behind them, I'm not sure what your point of the rankings is. I got to be honest with you. And he said, I give credit for him for being honest, but that is insane. That's an insane thing to tell someone.
That was a great interview, by the way. For those who never checked that out, go check out the Brunch Boxing interview that we did with Gustavo Olivieri. It's on the Brunch Boxing Spotify page. And take this time to go subscribe to the Brunch Boxing Spotify, subscribe to the YouTube, hit the smash button, smash the like button, share this this feed, and as always, hit my Cash App, ladies and gentlemen. Hit my Cash App. Support the
Also,
platform directly. This is independent media platform. Support the platform directly. Hit the Cash App, ladies and gentlemen.
Someone
Y'all know,
follow
hey, it's
EzRaw
the
Boxing on Twitter. Follow EzRaw Boxing on Twitter. I gotta get over 5K. I've been at 4K for a while now. We gotta get over 5K.
all
All
right,
right.
passenger.
I want to jump around the rundown here because I know Ezra has to leave, and I do want to get the Ezra report card and breakdown into the show before he has to take off at the top of the hour. So Ezra, Joshua Buatsi versus Zach Parker. What's your report card and breakdown for this one?
I think Buatsi's too good for Parker. Now Buatsi.
Before you break this down, Ezra, be honest. Did you remember this fight was happening today?
Yes, I have it on my bet. I don't remember if you remember, but I bet it because I thought it was happening last week. So I was a week early on this fight. It's happening this week. So I got raw hard cashes riding into this week, right? But I think Buatsi's a good fighter. I don't think he's a championship level. I don't think he's the highest level, but I think he's a good fighter. I think Parker's a little overrated. I've seen Parker quit in the ring before. I think that Buatsi's going to be too compact, better technically in this fight, and I think he's going to win very comfortably. As far as
what do you grade this card?
No, like I grade this like a D plus. I don't think it's a good card. I got to be honest with you. I don't think this is a good card at all. So I know nothing exciting about this card. But Buatsi is a guy that I don't mind. He's like one of those guys I don't mind having in the division. Like he just couldn't make. He's just an interesting guy to have against the top guys. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. You have another one?
Yeah. So Linaire Perro versus Jordan Thompson.
I was talking to Matt about that. I think Linaire Perro is an interesting heavyweight prospect. He's got some skills. He did have the fight with Frost. Am I right about this? Am I pronouncing Frost right? He did the fight with Frost, so I thought it was a pretty good fight.
Victor Faust?
There you go. And he pulled out the W. He pulled out the W in the fight, which I thought was a good fight. And I thought Frost has some skill as well. But Perro has some things that, he just has some natural talent. He has a natural looseness to his game that I like. He's gonna win tonight. I think a pretty easy fight for him. But he's a guy to watch in the heavyweight division. I think he's going to be an interesting contender as we go forward. It's not a great card. We're going to be honest with you. I'm going to give this card a D minus. But I think he is a guy to watch.
Okay.
And then
I think the interesting part of the card is you got Yoelvis Gomez fighting again. I do like the heavyweight main event. Obviously, I love all heavyweight fights. I'm curious to see Amari Jones again. But this fight is busy. This is a card of mismatches, if we're all being honest.
Yeah, it is. It is. I called it what it was. It's like it is what it is.
Squash match.
Yeah.
All right. And what is your raw hard cash for this week? I know you said you have one coming into the week from last week with the Buatsi fight, but do you have a new bet for the people?
Yes, a 3-leg parlay. Okay, I got Buatsi money line, Perro money line, and I got my Dodgers taking Game 7. I told you guys. I felt good. I felt good after Game 5. I wasn't like everyone else. We're like, oh, it's over, and the thing, and the Dodgers. And you know what? And I got to be honest with you. This is great for baseball. This is fantastic for baseball. The one thing you need in baseball was the Dodgers to struggle, because you would say, oh, it wasn't all the money. It's more than money right here, right? The Dodgers had to really earn it, and they earned it with guys that aren't making any money on the team, like a Klein. Right? They earned it with a guy like that. They earned it with a guy like Kike Hernandez, right? They earned it with a guy like that. It still takes building a team. It still takes the guys that you don't expect on the bench to do it. You know who's not hitting well? Mookie Betts. You know who's not hitting too great right now? Freeman. Right? We're going to pitch Otani tonight, but we're not 100% sure on how is it going to pitch, how that's going to go.
Who else is not hitting well?
Huh?
Who else is not hitting well?
I don't know. There's some other guys. There's a few other guys. Now, like I said, let's see what he does tonight. But like I said, when he's getting walked all the time, doesn't get a lot of opportunities. But what I say here is, look at this is great for baseball, but the Dodgers will prevail because this team has guys like Muncy, it has guys like Kike, it has guys that are willing to step up and do the ugly stuff. And let me tell you something. We're fielding like son of a guns right now. It's the small ball. The fielding is no one's talking about. We're fielding like sons of guns right now. This team is going to pull out an all-timer. And you know what? I don't think tonight's going to be close. I think the bat's going to wake up. I think what happened last night took the air. I think it took the air of the Blue Jays. The one thing that didn't work for the Blue Jays is that Game 5 had a break it after it. And you know what? That's when Dave Rogers said, let's loosen up. You know what he said? He said, you guys can go rest. I don't even need to come in. You know what happened? Everyone came in. Everyone came in because they said, no, we're going to do this. We are going to do this. And you see Dave Roberts, he's running, he's falling, he's loosening it up. This team tonight, this game ain't going to be close. I'm telling you right now, this game ain't going to be close. The Bats are going to wake up tonight. And the Dodgers are going to prevail. And let me tell you something. There's nothing better for a sport than Los Angeles being great. There's nothing. No, I don't care about New York. I don't care about Philly. I don't care about Chicago. There's nothing better for a sport than Los Angeles being great, because this is where the money is. You could take that into sports. You could take that into politics. You tell me, oh, LA needs to be better. California needs to be better. We fund it all. We are funding the whole damn sport, the whole damn country. Los Angeles is where it's at. We're going to win. The Dodgers are going to repeat. And you know what? It's time for a repeat.
Well,
Are you
I
done?
have my own parlay to put in.
All right,
I
now
have my
let's
own
hear it.
parlay to put in.
Oh, wait. That's plus 196.
Very simple 3-leg parlay. Joshua Bawati money line, Yoelvis Gomez money line, Lenier Pero money line. That
I was half
Listen,
expecting you to have the Blue Jays in there. I was really expecting you to have
yeah,
the Blue Jays in there.
yeah, because Blue Jays are gonna win. Listen, fuck the Dodgers, okay? I'm gonna say that first and foremost. Fuck the Dodgers, okay? That's number one. Number two, Game 6, you got away with one. You know, starting pitcher was doing very well, and then first guy got on base because Vlad Guerrero mistimed the ball flying at him. Okay, Mookie Betts, he got lucky for one. He won't get lucky tonight, and they're gonna get shut down. Blue Jays for the win, new world champs.
All right, now back to the regularly scheduled programming here. Layla Ali rejects the Clarissa Shields bout. Do we have any thoughts on this?
I do. Listen, I respect Clarissa Shields. I respect her, right? And the thing, but I'm not going to talk about a fight that has no chance of being made. I got to be honest with you. There's no chance this fight's going to happen. I don't know why we're still talking about it. I don't get it. Let me tell you something. I see Matt, he's in a space with Clarissa, and he's like, oh, Clarissa, and this, and that, whatever. Hey, this fight's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
You sound jealous. I'm
not. But I'll tell you this right now. There is a fighter out there, the fight that could happen. And that's Shadasia Green. And she's coming out for best win. And I think that that's a fight that we should be talking about. A real fight that could happen. I think the fight would people be interested in. And you know what I hate is when we wait too long and you kill someone's momentum. Right now, Shadasia Green has a momentum. Let her fight this fight. This is the fight. We've been seeing a lot of fights where I don't blame Clarissa Shields, but the talent level hasn't been there in opposition. I think Shadasia Green is more talented than most of the girls she's fought. Let's let her get in the ring. Will she come out short? I think that's a safe bet, right? She comes out short in that fight. But at least it's a live dog in there. That's all I'm saying. I like Shadasia Green. I think that she's had performances where she struggled, but she has worked her way back to me, and she's proven that she's a top contender now. I think that that's a fight that's more realistic. Not talking about this Layla Ali fight. I don't care about it. I'm honest with you. I don't get it. This goes back to everything. Why are we bringing out names that aren't around anymore? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Well, you said if we're bringing out names that's not around anymore, at least have a young person come take their head off.
Yeah, I get it. No, I get it. But Layla Ali doesn't. The problem is when a young person is calling out the old person, and the old person has no interest in fighting. That's the problem.
No. Hold on.
Layla Ali. No. I'm not blaming Clarissa Shields here. I'm not blaming Clarissa Shields here.
On that, though.
Yeah, I'm not blaming Clarissa Shields here. But what I'm saying is Layla Ali's kind of made it clear that this fight's not going to happen. Okay.
Now she has. So listen. Now that she's done that, there's no reason to talk about it no more. Bring on Shadasia Green.
Bring on Shadasia Green.
And let me tell you something. The funny thing is, Ezra, you talking about the Shadasia Green fight as if, oh, well, that's the real fight we're interested in. Bro, when have you ever heard someone once smoke with Clarissa Shields and Clarissa Shields ain't bring it to them in the ring? So Shadasia Green, you're going to get all that you're looking for very soon.
Good.
Everybody's going to get it.
That's what I want.
Good. That's what we want.
No negative to Clarissa.
Hit my music. Hit my music.
Oh, boy.
Next week, tune in. Clarissa Shields will be announcing her next opponent and her new promoter, and is going to be one of the biggest moves in the history of women's boxing. Everybody's going to get it.
Now, you said next week, tune in.
Hmm.
Tune in where?
Hit the music again.
You're gonna have to find out.
I can't wait.
Tune into Brunch Boxing.
You just made an announcement for a pending announcement, Matt. You became everything you hate.
Yeah, you goddamn right. Goddamn right. Because this was a good get, goddamn it. This was a good get.
The last thing we got here on the rundown for the news and notes is Emmanuel Navarrete and Eduardo Nunez are reportedly going to meet in the ring on March 7th in Arizona, according to Keith Idek. And what are your thoughts on this matchup? Ezra, let's go to you first.
What was the date on that? I just want to make sure.
March 7th in Arizona.
That's an interesting date. What an interesting date, right? Because I was told that Top Rank would have a TV deal by that time next year. But now what I'm hearing is that Top Rank is still subbing out. It's still subcontractor and subbing out talent. So you know what we're going to get on that date? What's that date again, Huey?
March 7th.
You're going to get a good luck post from Top Rank. Good luck, Navarrete. I hope you get the W, right? That's what you're going to get from them because they don't have a TV deal. I saw the Tubi thing. I didn't mind it. You know what I mean? Boxing is boxing. I'm good. But don't give me the BS that they had a TV deal this whole time or they're going to announce a TV deal by then. They're still subbing out talent. And let me tell you something. Top Rank doesn't have that much talent that they could just sub out willy-nilly. There's no TV deal coming. I
gotta tell you, if this turns out to be an EzRaw situation, oh man.
We need an EzRaw music.
We
need some EzRaw music. We need some EzRaw music because it's been happening a lot lately. It happens more than people think. It happens a lot more than people think.
Straight cash, homie.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. I love you guys. It is my daughter's birthday party today. I'm gonna have to do some work in that backyard. I don't know what exactly I'm gonna have to do, but I'm gonna do something in that backyard.
All right. Well, let's get the quick hits.
No, I got a rule.
Ezra's got to go, Matt. You're gonna do quick hits by yourself. You and JBZ are gonna do this today.
Do we have to? All right. That's
hey,
right.
Honestly, hold up, just Matt, real quick. Do you have any thoughts on Michaela Mayer winning her bout, Chantel Cameron vacating, and what do you have? First of all, let's group those. Any thoughts on either of those two?
This has been another edition of Brunch Boxing. He is our super producer. Shout out to everyone who joined us. Shout out to JBZ at the Boxing Source. Shout out to my guy Ty. Sunday morning sermon. Keep it 100 boxing. Make sure you guys go follow that channel, follow that program. He is our host, EzRaw Boxing. He is our COO, the Mexican Al Heyman Mike. I am Matt. We are Brunch Boxing, and we are out.